Hi, good morning everyone. We are going to do a little bit of deconstruction for my friend Aretha. Check her out if you don't know who she is. She is on, get my, close my curtains so you can see. She's on Instagram at Doodles by Aretha. Look at the absolutely stunning jewelry she makes. She is in South Africa. But look at her work. She's making jewelry out of her Tangle art, and she's making greeting cards. Aren't those beautiful? Look at that. Now she says she's having troubles with what she's calling swirls and curls. That they're not exactly tangle patterns, but they are, you know, an artistic pattern form, and we're going to give it a tackle. She sent me a little email, had some other things in it, but she wanted me to try to tackle patterns, designs like this. She says specifically she wants to learn this one. I think I'm going to start with this because it might be easier to deconstruct with the black on white than the white on black. These then become a little more intricate, but you see this type of pattern all over the place, especially in, I'm trying to think, I think it was Art Deco era. They had a lot of this. Art Nouveau, I think more Art Nouveau than Art Deco. But anyways, you see this pattern all over the place. So what I did was I just printed this out from her email, and then I blew up these two so we could see them nice and big. You can see what happens when you blow up a thing too big. It gets all pixely. But that's okay. We're just using it as a guide to help us learn how to break down the curves and the swirls so that we can figure out how to make these shapes. So I'm going to start with this one. Let me get this out of my way. And what I thought I would do, let me back up so you guys can see the whole page. What I thought I would do would be the easiest way to figure out the best way to draw these types of elements would be to break down the parts. And in order to break down the parts, I decided I wanted to draw on top here, but I didn't want to draw directly on this. So I'm getting myself some, this is actually just parchment paper, just cooking paper, right? Baking paper, because I could put another piece of copying paper over it, and I can see it, but you guys can't. It's not thin enough. So I'm getting myself just a little chunk of parchment paper, about that big. Looks like it'll do it. Oh, that's very loud. Sorry. I'm just going to place that down here. Now we can see through that paper, and we can draw on here, and we can analyze the different shapes. Now I know Aretha can do a regular swirl because I see it in her work. Like at the top of these, oops, now you can't see. The top of these hearts. Like, I know she's got swirls down. She says she doesn't. I disagree. You've got this, girl. You do. But let's analyze, let's say, if I was to just draw this, like this whole piece right here, if I was to draw this, I would start with these bits here. That one, that one. Get this general shape. So what I would do is probably, I would take my pencil and I would make this shape on my page. I might even make it like that. Okay, can you see what I just drew? No, I'm going to have to draw darker. Okay, that's good to know. But that's how I would probably start. So I would probably start by taking a pencil and drawing that general shape, and then have that one coming out. And then this one coming out here, this one coming out here. There's going to be a shape coming out here, a shape coming out here, one coming out here, one coming out here. I would just start by just planning out where I would want my shapes, so that let me get a white piece of paper underneath. Do I have a white piece sitting here? Yes, I do. So that you can see my pencil marks better. So what I would do is I would plan out the general shape just with pencil, quickly, not trying too hard. Okay. Then I think what I would do is think more about each shape. Let me get a new fresh piece of paper. Okay. For example, this shape is clearly just like a teardrop. This one's like a muka, right? This one too, teardrop. Okay, we've got teardrops here and here. These ones are a little bit more complicated, but they're not hard. We can figure them out. So, let's draw. Where'd my pencil go? I've lost my pencil. This one will work. So I would probably draw this teardrop like that. And then I would draw this muka like that. And then I would probably draw this teardrop. I would find any shape that I already knew was a shape I could draw. That's sort of a muka. This one's more of a teardrop. Okay. Now, this leaf shape here, it appears to be, I would come up and around and then make this little loop and then come like that. That's sort of that leaf shape. This leaf shape, let's see, what did I do? This one here, we'll just break it down into parts. We're going to come up and around, and then we have up and over, up and over, like that. So yes, I'm just tracing at the moment, but I'm learning how each of those shapes is designed. This one here is like having a teardrop and a muka combined. So I would probably draw this muka first, and then the teardrop that's attached to it, like that. So let's try. One of the other things, if you're having troubles with your curves and your swirls, let me just take this out, is on a piece of scrap paper, figure out, let me sharpen my pencil here. Figure out for yourself. Now, I'm right-handed, and for myself, if I was just to close my eyes and said, draw a spiral, I would tend to go like that. I would go from the outside toward the inside, and I would make them counterclockwise. It feels less natural for me to go this way. I can do it because I've had lots and lots of practice, but it feels less natural for me to go this way. That's one thing you need to know is what is your more natural inclination. My more natural inclination is to go counterclockwise. So if I wanted a spiral that went, and I wanted to do it going this way instead of this way, if I wanted it to go clockwise, I would probably draw it counterclockwise starting in the middle, because that would be more natural for me and my hand and the way I like to draw. You want to practice your spirals. You want to practice, let's say you're going to have a whole page of paper just doing this. Doing it from the top, doing it from the bottom. See how mine changes? If I start at the top, then if I am at the bottom, my line changes. My line quality changes. Because this is where I'm more likely to go this way. That feels more natural for my hand than to go the other direction, than to come back this way. It feels backwards to me. So I have a better flow when I draw this way. And then try a whole page where you're just doing this with the loop. Take these basic elements, the basic shapes that are in what you want to draw, and practice just one part of it until you get it to be the shape you really like it to be. See, I'm getting a little better at it. I'm not getting quite so with this fat stem here and a skinny bit there. Okay. Find that this leaf shape, that's a little more complicated, but take your time and practice it. You want to come out, and then it's got a little blurb and a round bit, and then it comes back like that. So this one's going to come up, have a little blurb, and then like that. That one didn't come out quite as well as this. This actually needs to curve inward here. We'll analyze what I didn't do quite right. So we're going to come up, and we're going to come inward, and then we come out, and like that. That's not quite right either. See? This is how I would do it. I would practice the shape that I want. Perhaps I need to draw it the other way. Perhaps I need to go this way and then up. No, that's not right either. Okay, this way and up with a loop, and then that. Okay, that made it better. That was easier for me to draw. So you have to figure out what is the easiest way for you to draw a shape. It might be to draw that line first, and then to draw this line, and then that. Because that, for me, is an easier. I didn't do the bump. So I'm going to here, in and out, and then a bump. I would just spend time practicing each individual leaf shape that you want to learn. This one here is more of a muka. That, but then it's got these leaf bits that come maybe out to here and kind of come here and there, and then here and there. I'm doing them sideways from where I'm watching them, so it'll be easier actually if I turned my sample to the same way I'm trying to draw. That would be much easier. You know, don't try to draw them upside down. That makes it hard. But like this, and then this came this way, and this way, and then this way, and that way. Something like that is this shape. And I would just keep practicing those shapes over and over and over until you get them to be a smooth shape. You know, you want this long, skinny teardrop. You know, I know you can do this shape. You absolutely can. And then you just add them together. I know you've done these before. Something like that. So we're going to take this inspiration and bring it into our own. So let's try at this point to look at the black and white one. It's got some more complex shapes. Well, let's get a fresh piece of parchment paper. Ah. And let's look at some of these shapes. This one is a little, well, not just a little, a lot more complicated. So if I was to draw this one, I think I would go from here and I would come around like this first. And then I would stop and I would analyze what do I want? This is sort of a roundy shape. So it comes up and kind of goes around. And this is more of a hook and then a leaf like that. Right? Same with this shape. It kind of comes around, all the way around like a spiral. And then it has sort of this hook shape like that. And here, this comes up and then around like that. So now we want to take those complicated shapes, this one here too. So this one is around like this and around like that, and then in here it's got a big V like that. So then we want to take this away, put down our practice page, and just practice these shapes. So I'm going to practice this one. So that one comes up and around like so. And then it comes like this. And then it has this V shape in it. Mine's not exactly the same, but it, you end up making your own type of a thing. But that's good to know. I want to make a round like that. Like this. And then a V shape. That V shape, I need to work on this V shape. This part I've got pretty well. I like the shape that's making it, but I don't like that V shape at the bottom. It doesn't match this. So let's try it again. It's going to come up and around. And then it's going to come in like this. And then we're going to make this V shape. These are closer together so that it makes a more of a, like that shape. I'm happier with this shape. It looks closer to this shape than that shape. Okay. And I would literally, if I wanted to learn how to draw that shape really well, I would seriously just sit down and draw this shape over and over and over on a piece of paper, just this one little part. And then I would do that again for this big weird shape. This big weird shape is, I'm going to draw it smaller, but still it's a big curve. Right? It's a big curve. And then it's got a hook like that, and then it's got a chunky leafy bit that goes in and then out and then in like that. That's the general shape of this. I don't have the angle quite right, but that's the general shape. It's kind of almost looks like a bird sitting on a branch. So I would just keep practicing that. Bird beak, Bird belly coming down, sitting on a branch like that. Bird beak, bird belly, branch like that. I'm trying to make it fluid. They're each slightly different, but similar. That you wouldn't notice that in a design if now if I'm starting to make that as a movement, bird beak, the belly, the branch, and like that. I would be able to draw that over and over in a pattern now that I've got that motion and I've practiced just this one shape. You want to break them down anytime you're looking at a pattern and you don't know how to draw it. You want to break it down into its simplest shapes. So now I can take that little simple shape and I can add maybe this shape to it. Let's do this one. Was up and around, right? And then it came from way over here. And then it has this V. So I've added those two together. Now there's this weird interior bit that looks like what? It looks like another kind of coming around with a point. And then this comes up like this. It comes down and then it kind of swoops. Nope, not quite. That's an interesting shape, but that looks nothing like that shape. Not at all, because I missed this whole bit. I came out, but then I didn't go up. And I think I didn't make it big enough. So, let's try again. So we're trying for this shape here. So we're going to go, maybe I need to go the other way. Maybe it's easier for this one to come out. And then up. And down. And then kind of out and in. Yeah, that was an easier way for me to draw it. So you just have to figure out what is the easier way you want to draw a particular shape. So I want to draw that one as around, like a big C. Then I want to come down to here, down to there. Now I want to come up with a big thing and around. That's better. This is better. This one came out really good. That one's not so great, but you know, it's better than this. Let's try again. Like that, like that. So we're going to come around and up and more down like that. Better. Okay, so let's try to do an artwork. We're going to just combine just these few elements. We're not going to do the whole thing. Just going to try to combine these few elements together on a piece of artwork. And I'm going to go in with pen. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to go in with pen. Let me try to get a piece of paper here. We're just going to try our best for this kind of swirl. I'm going to put my reference here. I'm going to go for kind of like this area of this drawing. And I'm going to give myself a border because I like them. You absolutely don't have to. But I like them. And I'm going to try. Okay, so I want to try. What did I decide? That one has a beak. So it's going to come all the way around. And it's got a beak like a bird. And then the bird is coming out and it's sitting on a branch. Like that. I ran my hand through it. So it's smudged a little bit. Oh well. And then this shape comes in here with a big swirl like that. And then it comes up. And then it comes up from here. And then it has a swoop in, but then it's got a bulge, and then it comes around like so. And then it has a just regular teardrop right in here, and some circles, and then it's got this sort of leafy shape that we are practicing. It comes up and it bulges out like that, and then it's got this little mark in it, kind of like that. Don't think all of my elements are thin enough in some of the spots, but that's okay. And then we have this other one that comes up and around. Let's go up and way around like that. And around like that. And then it's got like a V shape there. That looks nothing like that. Okay, so I 100% can see how you would have really hard time replicating this in our style. It's cool, it looks great, but it looks nothing like this. And I think the only way we're going to actually get to this point is to just practice it, to be honest. The thing is this is drawn either digitally or by hand with a brush. Now we could try making those shapes with a brush and see what happens. Let's try it on the back. What the heck? Let's use our brush pen. This is not my best brush pen. Where is my good brush pen? I'd make better lines with my good brush pen. Let's just see what happens if we try it with a brush. I've gone all quiet on you because I'm thinking and I'm concentrating. That's what happens when I concentrate. Props to the people who can do this just freehand. Something like that maybe. And then it's got an interior leaf that goes kind of like that. And then it's got a muka-like shape here. With some dots. And a long of leaf, and then it's got something like this. And then one of these leaf shapes that comes with a belly and then a thing. Like that. And then a more of a teardroppy shape coming up there. And then another one of these leaf-like shapes that comes up. Like that. And then a little leafy shape that has a crescent, kind of like a bird's beak again. And a little belly, like so. Does seem to help to be able to color in the shape. Something like that. Oh, did you see any of what I just did? My guess is you did not. Why did I do it all over here? Retha, you are not yelling at me loud enough and saying, I can't see what you are doing. Okay, let's try it again. I did a pretty good job. You just didn't see any of what I just did, so I'm going to try again. Let's try again. Let's get another piece of paper. We're going to, there's our inspiration, that corner. Let's zoom out a little bit so I don't end up off my page. It doesn't take much. That's all I moved it. And that came completely out of view. Okay, let's try again. Beak, belly, and then sitting on a branch, like this. Fill it all in. Brush pen does seem to be helping me just think about this shape better. And the filling it in seems to be helping me. Just, I don't know if that'll help you guys. But 100%, all it's going to take is practicing each shape. And and break the shapes down into things that you can think about. See, like I made this a bird on a branch in my head. So now I have that shape kind of, my brain says, oh yeah, bird on a branch, I can do that. Make this a little longer. Like so. Okay, so now inside the bird on a branch is going to be another kind of bird-like shape. Like so. Really swirly. Like that. And then it comes out and it has this bump. Let's put in the bump. My bump's a little different shape. Okay. And then it's got some bits like so. Let's fill in that. Am I on screen still this time? Who knows what you saw last time? I don't know. So I'm doing it again. At least I realized it before I finished the video. Okay. That's not so bad. Looks like this needs to come down more. And this needs to come down more. That's kind of weird. It looks more Tim Burton-like than smooth and swirly, but oh well. It's on my page now. It's gonna have a Mooka-like shape right there. Teardroppy one with some dots. And a little leaf right coming up here. Like that. Not too bad. Feel like it needs one more swirl or something in here to fill in that gap. Maybe one of these leaves. Sort of a this sort of shape. Okay, and then coming out of here, we're going to do this shape, and it comes over here, like so. Fill that in. Okay. Mine looks very Tim Burton-like. I don't know why. I think it's this drippy one. Something like that. And then another, just a teardrop. And then a leaf shape. Like that. Definitely the filling in makes the shape. If it was just drawn, it would look weird. Definitely have to fill it in. It's the type of shape that needs that filling in. And then another one of these sort of little leaf shapes like that. And I think I'm going to put some more dots just because I feel like having dots. Are they on the picture? No. But I feel like having dots there. Alright, some of it I really like. Some of it I think could use some improvement. Maybe to disguise this, I'm going to put another one here because I'm not overly happy with that little spot right there. Definitely filling in makes a huge difference. Because this style that she wants is more of a flowy, painty style. This I'm still not overly enthused with. This little bit right there. Weird. Okay. We're going to call it done. We're going to call it Swirls and Curls. And that's just for Retha. My Swirls and Curls thought process. And that's how I would approach this pattern or this, drawing any sort of something that you're not familiar with, is I would break it down into little pieces and practice your shapes. See how many different, they are not, this and this do not match. But you need to practice and get closer and closer and closer. And don't feel bad about tracing over a design. See, that looked not so bad either. And you know what? Those two are exactly the same, but they're not. Believe it or not, those are not the same, but they look they were inspired by the same piece. This also was inspired by that same piece. Okay, just line work looks completely different than when you fill it in. So clearly filling it in is also something that is necessary. All right, I'm going to put them side by side like this so we can have an interesting thumbnail. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you on the next video, which will be who the heck knows what. I haven't planned that far ahead, but I'll see you guys later. Go out and do something nice for someone today. Make the world a better place. And Retha, love you. And I am so glad that you're doing well. And we'll talk later. Bye-bye.